Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to show you guys how I made this pumpkin sourdough bread and how I shaped it to look this beautiful, perfect for the fall. So we're going to start with 125 grams of sourdough starter, 250 grams of water. We are going to mix these two together until they are well combined. And then we're going to add 150 grams of pumpkin puree. This one is the one that I used. Now we are adding 30 grams of brown sugar, 10 grams of vanilla extract, and then we're going to add 10 grams of salt, and I add 20 grams of maple syrup. I like the maple syrup because I feel like it brings out those fall flavors. And then I add 2 teaspoons of this pumpkin pie spice. This one has the nutmeg, the cloves, the cinnamon, so it just has everything in it. If you don't like any of those ingredients or certain ingredients, you can definitely add just cinnamon or just nutmeg or whatever you prefer. I just added the pumpkin spice because it is what we like the most. And then you're finally going to mix everything together, making sure that everything is almost well combined. And then we are going to add our 500 grams of flour. And then we're finally going to mix everything together until we get a shaggy dough. It is going to be a stickier type of dough. So you're just going to mix until everything is well combined, and you're going to let it sit on the counter for about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what you prefer. I let it rest for 30 minutes, and then I started on my first set of stretch and folds. This is the first set right here. I just like to go ahead and stretch the dough, pulling it from one side of the bowl, flipping it, and then doing the same thing, going all the way around 4 times. And then I do like to pick up the dough and flip it over. That way the bottom can also get strong. I like to do a little bit of slap and folds. That way the whole dough gets worked. Because sometimes I feel like I used to just stretch the 4 times and then the bottom would never get touched enough to make it strong. So I like to do this now. But this dough is on the stickier side, so it won't be as easy to slap and fold without it like tearing. So now after the first set, we are going to wait 30 minutes. You see how it's still kind of shaggy, it's not smooth at all. So we're going to wait the 30 minutes, and then we're going to do our second set, and we're going to do the exact same thing, pulling the dough all around the bowl and making sure that everything is getting nice and strong. And I am going to do a little bit of the slap and folds here, still trying to be very gentle so the dough doesn't rip. And then we're going to let it sit on the counter for 30 minutes, and then we're going to repeat the steps. So for this dough, I did end up doing 5 stretch and folds because this dough was on the stickier side and it wasn't as smooth as I would like it to be or what I'm used to. So for the third, fourth, and fifth set, I was very gentle, doing some coil folds. I did not do any of the slap and folds or the regular stretch and folds. I wanted to be very gentle, just pulling up the dough and making it nice and smooth by not being too harsh on it. And then I waited the 30 minutes and I repeated this step for 2 more times. So a total of 5 stretch and folds. The more you do the coil folds, the more you can notice that the dough is getting stronger and smoother. So I decided to do 5 because sometimes it's not about following a recipe to the T. Sometimes you can just read your dough and see if it needs more or less. Sometimes I don't even need to do the 4 stretch and folds. I just do 3 because my dough is strong enough. And sometimes my dough seems a little too, not weak, but it needs a little bit extra love. So I do an extra set of stretch and folds, and it helps my dough so much. So just pay attention to your dough. And this is what it looks like. It looks so much smoother, and I let it bulk ferment on the counter, and when it was ready, it was nice and jiggly. I could pull it away from the bowls without it sticking to it, and it came off the bowl very, very easily. So now it's time to shape, and as you guys know, if you've seen my previous videos, I do not laminate my dough unless I was going to do a cinnamon sugar swirl, which you definitely can. I was debating whether or not to do that, but I decided to keep it simple for this video. But you can definitely put a cinnamon sugar filling, that way it could have that extra fall flavor in there. And yeah, so I decided not to, so I did a pre-shape and then I did a final shaping, and then I put it into my round banneton and I put it in the refrigerator overnight so it can do a cold proof. And then in the morning I preheated my oven to 450 degrees with my Dutch oven inside. And here you can see the butcher twine that I am going to be using on this dough. I decided to coat it in flour, that way as the dough bakes it wouldn't get stuck to the dough. I cut 4 pieces of this butcher twine, all the same sizes, and then I made like a pizza slice thing situation, as you can see here, and then I just put my parchment paper and I flipped it over. It's the easiest way to, get a better even shape to your pumpkin shape. And I decided to put some flour to just make those designs pop. And you don't have to if you don't want, but I did. I didn't have any of that rice flour, but I did put some of the all-purpose flour that I had, and it worked out perfect. So here I am just tying up that twine to, just keep everything together. And a little tip for you guys, after that first one that you tie up, tie the rest of them around that one, that first one. That way, as it bakes, the twine won't move and create a weird shape to your loaf. As you can see here, I'm not sure if it's like clear enough, but I am putting them under the first one and then tying it around it, if that makes sense. That way they can all be stuck together, and as the loaf expands in the oven, they won't move, so it's easier for them to keep its shape. I do cut off the excess twine with some scissors, and I don't cut it too short just in case, it does expand, they don't like rip or anything. I don't know, I just like to leave a little bit. I'm not even sure if that's like correct or not, but I just like to leave a little bit just in case anything. And here I'm just kind of fixing it, trying to make all the little sections even. And then I am going to start scoring. So you don't have to do a score, but I just feel like it looks prettier, especially with the flour. I feel like it'll make it pop. So I just grabbed a very sharp blade and I decided to do like simple wheat stalks just to like make it look pretty. And this is how I, did it, just very simple. And I feel like it came out beautiful, you guys. I feel like you guys can make this for like Thanksgiving, or just put it as a centerpiece when you guys have a family gathering. Anyways, I'm getting carried away because this loaf was so beautiful. I'm like super excited to share it with you guys. So we are going to bake this loaf at 450 degrees for 30 minutes with the Dutch oven lid on, and this is what it looks like once you take off the lid. Look at how beautiful. And then an additional 10 minutes with the lid off. You can do 15, it depends on how, dark you want the outside, but I feel like 10 minutes was perfect. And this is what it looked like. I do like to take off the twine when the loaf is still warm. That way it doesn't cool off and it doesn't like make it hard to take off the twine from the little edges. So I just like to do it when it's warm. And this is what it looks like. After I took off the twine, I decided to put a cinnamon stick to make the pumpkin have a stem, and I feel like it completed the look and it looks so beautiful. And this is my favorite loaf. It's the prettiest loaf I've made, hands down, and I hope you guys give this recipe a try. It is a must right now with fall approaching and the September, November, December months. I feel like you guys have to try this. And I am going to cut it for you guys. Although I didn't want to, I wanted to keep it forever. I'm just kidding. But I did cut it so that way you guys can see the inside. It was so fluffy and so soft, and I did pair it with a little bit of honey butter, and it tasted so delicious. Look at how soft that is. It's fluffy, it's delicious, it has so much flavor, and I hope you guys give it a try. But I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please subscribe if you want to see more. I have more fall recipes coming soon, so stick around to see those. Look at how good that looks, you guys. Anyways, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.